And hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So today we are back inside of our creative recap world and some stuff's been done. So the first thing you might notice is this pin over here. The topic for this week's pixel art was pin, P-I-N. So I went ahead and made one. I could have made it a lot longer, that's the only thing. The pin itself looks nice, but it's a little short. However, as a result, it still looks pretty good from a distance, so which is the most important thing. But yeah. So then it adds a pretty nice addition. I think for pixel art row, I'm gonna head to the left until we reach about that point, and then maybe build some more on the right. We'll see. I might even go up or down or around or whatever. Point is, I'm still not 100% sure what it's gonna look like, but this is the start. And then we got the cave, which I've done this is probably the thing I've done the least amount of work on since last episode. I don't remember if I had the detail in here with the other sandstones yet. I think I did, but I don't remember for sure. But as we come around, we've got grass and flowers now as you go down with a lot of more detail in. Comes out to kind of a bigger room here, which I was originally planning on making like a really large room, but if you dig up at all, you hit sandstone and sand and stuff, so I don't want to, break into the desert. And then it comes down here and this is going to continue into a pathway, which will probably go down a little more because this is only at Y49, so still not a lot of room to go up. Because the roof could only go to here, which is still a bit short, so I want to go a little higher, a little lower before I start building, because I want a pretty large open room when we get to that. Still not 100% sure what I want to do with the end of the cave pathway, but it's really coming along. I really like how it's turning out. And like the polished granite, I don't usually like granite for almost anything, but it really works for this, adding a bit more color in along. And it matches pretty well with the shroom lights and glowstone and stuff that are around, which I mostly have tried to hide behind grass and stuff like that, which I guess I don't need all this stuff on me. But yeah, also I ended up getting an efficiency 5 pickaxe and just giving myself haste and digging because it's so much faster that way. Even though I have to go in survival, it's still so much faster than creative digging, so it's worth it. And then if we come out, perfect, it's nighttime. Let's take a look at the village. A lot has changed in the village. First off, we got a waterfall back here, but everything's all lit up. There's pathways that are set up. We got a lot of lamps on the side and 2 new buildings. So the first thing before we go to the buildings that I want to point out is what I think I'm going to actually do for the paths is make them determined by what district they're for. So like for kind of the like courthouse, kind of more government stuff, including the mayor's house, we're going to have netherite blocks for the pathway. Then for kind of the shopping district, we're going to have diamond blocks. For the housing district, we'll probably have gold blocks, and then we'll see whatever, if there ends up being any other districts in the future, but for the moment that's what I have planned. So that's how the paths are going to be. And then also another thing I want to mention is I've started lighting up the water under the swamp. I feel like this will look really nice if I can get glowstone all set out through under the water and look nice. And in the desert, I'm doing a thing where I put glass with lava under it. It's not enough to prevent mob spawning, but it's enough to light it up, which is kind of the goal. I'm not worried about mob spawning because it's, obviously it's creative, so it doesn't matter if mobs are spawning or not. But now let's get on to these buildings. So first and foremost, we have, I guess start with the bakery. We've got, it's not a beautiful building. I'm still learning, but I feel like it's nicer than most buildings I make. Got kind of the blue windows, trapdoors. If I had a better feel for like color theory and stuff like that, I'd probably be a bit better at it. That's some stuff I need to look into actually. But yeah. As we come in, I used pistons for the floor. So it's the texture the pistons have on the bottom for the flooring, which I think looks really nice for a floor, surprisingly. And we got some bread lined up there. We also got like a little counter thing, like when they have those glass counter things at bakeries, and you can look in and select the bread, and they'll, from the other side they'll pull it out. And from this side, you can't even tell that you can't even tell they're really pistons unless you're coming up and looking closely. But yeah, kind of the trim around the pistons give it a nice look compared to just using cobblestone, which I really like. So I might actually find more places to use pistons in the future, but yeah, I feel like that was a pretty good idea on my part to use pistons for the flooring. And then if we come over to the other side, we got our blacksmith area, which I went ahead and got some invisible item frames for the tool racks, which they look a little weird because they hang off like that, but I still feel like they look a lot better than a lot of the alternatives would have. So I'm still perfectly fine with how this turned out. And we got kind of the spaced up and down ceiling, which I feel like always looks the best for, these sort of builds where they're kind of open on the sides. I feel like the kind of up and down ceiling looks the best for it. And I got stone brick walls for the corners, which looks really nice. And we got kind of the area where they'll set stuff up. You got the fire, anvil, cauldron, which actually, the first 1.16 snapshot came out, and I'm not gonna upgrade quite yet, but until it's probably a little more stable, because there's not as many important changes as there was with the Nether update, where it was kind of nice to immediately jump on it. Like, there's not been any changes to any generation, so I'm not super worried about hopping on to the next update immediately. I want to wait until they've at least started to make changes with the cave generations. I don't know if they've done anything with the cliffs yet or not. I might have just gotten weird generation when I loaded up a world, but yeah, I'm not super worried about copper looking glasses because zoom in. So like, yeah, it's all stuff that won't really affect this creative recap world, so I'm not super stressed about it. But yeah, point is, once we do get it, I'll probably have a lava cauldron too, which it's gonna be weird because the generation's gonna be changed just a couple hundred blocks out. But I do feel like I have to update. Okay, and then the last thing I've done, which I've done a lot, like I've put in a lot of work between episodes, but basically, if we come up over here, our wheat field is massive now. Like, I think it was just kind of this little area here before. Now it stretches all the way down here. So a lot of progress, but yeah, overall it's looking pretty nice. I'm looking forward to once it stretches to those hills back there, because I think I'll probably work on this for another 2 episodes, and then wherever it's at, I'm gonna go like, yeah, it's good for now. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it for a while, because I don't think the wheat fields need to be too large, and there's other things I can focus on in our world. But yeah, so a lot done, mostly kind of more trivial things. Like I spent a lot of time on that wheat field, and I spent a lot of time lighting stuff up too. I feel like that'll probably be a theme for the next couple episodes until there's some stuff, until the wheat field's done. There's a lot more lighting around the world. And the big thing is how passionate I am to do building projects, which mostly depends on if I have a good idea for a building project. So like for the village, I might do a town hall next or whatever. If I do a town hall, it'll probably be on this side. I don't know exactly, but yeah, lots to think about, lots to do. But yeah, I feel like this series it's gonna be around for a while. I love doing this, and I've spent a lot of time on this world already, and I'm really excited about this. But anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Didn't quite hit that 10-minute mark.